on a second. No, I don't. A moment. Sorry, when you have children, don't know how to not mess with something. They like to mess with my laptop. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so as you guys can see of the title and the description and everything like that, we will be talking about what's been going on in my life. My life's been really flipping crazy this past year. My last video was about my last pregnancy and how quickly he came and everything like that. If you want to see that, just go to my page and it should be on there. Hold on a second. But yeah, this past year has been very rough. Everybody on here knows that I had a baby in 2020, which was COVID. He is now 1. He's not that much bigger, but yeah, he's just not that much bigger. He's small still for a 1-year-old. He's still in 3 to 6 months clothing. So I'm a little concerned. I might be bringing that up to his pediatrician at his next doctor's appointment, but I need to take him in to go and get blood work done so that way he can go to his next doctor's appointment, because they want that first before his next doctor's appointment. And I don't know what's going to come up in there. I'm a little concerned, but we'll just have to go through with it and see what happens. But this year has been so rough for me because of the fact that on my birthday, or around my birthday, my fiance and I had gotten into a decent argument, and then nearly lost my food stamps, so I had to fill a bunch of stuff out to get that done. Got it back. During that time, he had quit his job, so he wasn't working. And so with us fighting, that just made things worse for us. Things started to during that time did not get better. It just got worse. So with it getting not better but worse, it made things rough between us, like really rough. I went and saw my cousin. My cousin came and picked me up on my birthday to take me out. We went back to her house, hung out, chit-chatted for I think like an hour or two, and then we went out to the bar that we were gonna go and shoot darts at, but we ended up not shooting darts. We ended up just hanging out, chit-chatting there for like 10-15 minutes. I got a drink. I got a free drink while I was there, and then we left. She didn't get anything to drink, really. She just had a soda. It was only like a couple dollars. But she got that, and then I had my drink, which was on the bartender, because of it being my birthday. And then what else did we do? I didn't do anything else really on my birthday. Saturday, a family friend of ours took me to the Demolition Derby race, so that was fun. We got pictures and stuff like that while we were there. The mascot, I guess you can say, for them, for the whole thing, was a cow. So we got a picture with the cow. And we were still fighting that day, all day long. We were fighting in text, and then he tried to call me a couple times, and I was like, look, my phone's gonna die, so I can't be on the phone with you. I have my charger with me, but I don't have a place to plug it in at the moment. So I turned my phone off because I didn't have anywhere to put my phone to charge it. So went ahead and found a place to plugged it in, and then while it was plugged in, turned my phone back on, and I had a bunch of messages from him, and of course it was fighting, basically. Once I got home, because right afterwards everybody was going to go back to their house and we were going to have some drinks and stuff like that and blah 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 blah. Well, that didn't happen. I ended up coming home. I was going to go and hang out with them for a little while longer, but it didn't happen. I ended up having to come home. Came home, sat down on the floor. Everybody was sitting on the couch and everywhere else. Sat down on the floor, just relaxed. And then he proceeded to go upstairs because he was mad about something, so he went upstairs. Came flying back down the stairs and proceeded to basically kind of yell at me that I was cheating on him and blah, 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 because he saw a picture on Facebook of me and one of their friends with their arm across this way. Well, it was that or fall backwards off the railing, because he kind of had to almost sit on the railing because we were all trying to scoot in together, and the cow outfit was big. So if someone would have scooted over, they would have fallen off the stairs and hurt themselves or whatever. So his option was put his arm this way. Didn't mean anything. Just a picture. Well, in his eyes, it meant something else. So therefore, he told me that I was cheating when I wasn't, and I told him, and I looked him straight in the eyes, and I said, I am not cheating. Not. And then, according to him, my dad said that I'm acting like my mother, and that's where I draw the line. You don't say I'm acting like my mother. I hate my mom because of the things that she has done to me. And now she doesn't talk to me whatsoever. Which she wants to see her grandkids all the time, but doesn't want to talk to me. If you want to see your grandkids, you have to talk to me first. You can't just talk to your grandkids without me. They're my kids. They're in my care. I'm taking care of them. So therefore, you have no right to just randomly come up to my brother's phone and start looking at the babies when I'm showing, when I'm trying to get them to be happy and calm down. And he's looking at them and he's talking with them, and then you have to come over and see them. No, not happening. If you can't talk to me, you can't talk to them. That's just how I have it. Yeah. So my mom and I are still fighting, basically. We're still not talking to each other. My fiance and I are better now, but we were in a nasty fight. And he had packed up his stuff during that fight, and he had actually walked out. But he didn't go far. because he has where we live, he's got nowhere to really go, because he's got no family out here. And yeah, so his family is me, his boys, and my family. That's it. That's all he's got. But yeah, him and I are doing better now, for the most part. I mean, we still have our ups and downs, but it's been okay. He keeps asking me if I'm cheating on him. He keeps asking me if I'm gonna marry him still. He keeps asking me if I want more kids with him. And he keeps asking me if I want to spend the rest of my life with him and all this and that, which of course I do. And of course I'm not cheating on him by any means. It's just he keeps asking me these things because he thinks in his mind that there is something going on when there isn't anything going on. And I think he thinks that there's something going on just because, like, a family situation happened, and so I've been kind of like sad, depressed a little bit, but not too bad. So this is what I was going to get into, and this is why I have this set for not for children of any age other than anybody over the age of 18. So 18 and up, no children on here, because of the fact that what I'm about to talk about is not really kid appropriate. I mean, unless you want your kids to watch it, then it's fine. But otherwise, not really kid appropriate. But November 10th, about, 3 o'clock or so, 3 o'clock, we got a phone call from my aunt, who is a very close friend to my dad. That's why she's like my aunt. I got a phone call from her, and she left the voicemail asking me if my dad could call her, and her voice sounded a little shaky. So I was like, okay. And then I texted her, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, can you just have your dad call? And I was like, yeah, I don't know where he is, but yeah, as soon as I find him, no problem. And I told my dad, I was like, hey, Rachel wanted you to call, which is her name. And I was like, Aunt Rachel wants you to call. And he's like, okay. Well, it turned out that my Uncle Joe hung himself in his garage. He locked himself in there. He sent a picture to another friend of ours, and she asked her boyfriend, who is his nephew, what do I do? He's like, call the cops. So she did. She called the cops. They went and did a wellness check on him because so what happened was my aunt had gone to work, and before that they had gotten into an argument because he was going to shut off her phone and Joey's phone, or he had taken her phone or something like that. And so she was trying to get her phone back because she needed it for work, and she wanted to make sure that, the boys were safe and weren't doing anything that they weren't supposed to. She always keeps in touch with all of them. She always makes sure that everybody's doing okay, everybody's doing safe, everybody's where they need to be. And my Uncle Joe and his oldest one, they fight quite a bit. But it's because they're exactly alike, and that's why. Very, very stubborn on things too. But it was to the point where afterwards she got her phone back. She went to work. And while she was at work, I think it was like she had gotten a text or a phone call from somebody. She rushed home. And my, I guess you can say cousin, but they're more of like my little brothers. His name is, his nickname is Joey. 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 So his actual name is like Joseph or something like that, but he goes by Joey. But he saw it. Him and his friend saw it, and he's been kind of messed up. All he saw was his dad hanging in the garage, which freaked him out. He has every right to be freaked out about that. But what my uncle did was he barricaded himself in. He took, they heard drilling in the garage, and they're like, oh, maybe he's just working on something, whatever. It was normal. It was normal for drilling noises to be coming out of the garage because they were always working on something, whether it be a derby car or whatever. So they thought, oh, drilling, okay, maybe he's just working on something to kind of keep himself occupied and just away from everybody else right now. And everybody knows that he's been fighting some mental health issues. And so he tried talking to his doctor about it and gave him no help by any means. He was also off his medications and stuff like that, so things were getting worse for him. To make matters worse, he has had... I'm sorry, hold on. My phone keeps going off. He has had Addison's disease, which it's a disease, obviously, but it's a disease that slowly and painfully kills you. So he was given, I think it was like so many years to live, and he had to live it to the fullest. And that's exactly what he did. He lived his life to the fullest. He did not back down from anything. That man was strong-headed for sure, but he was also very willing to do anything. If he was in the middle of doing something, he would drop what he was doing and he would go help you with whatever it was. He also gave encouragement to people. He was willing to help people out in any shape or form that he possibly could. Sometimes he couldn't help with money situations, but he could help with other situations. If you were having a relationship problem, he would be there to help. He was there for me. He would pull me aside and he would tell me while my fiance and I were fighting. He's like, don't worry, things will work out. Just give it time. I know things are rough right now, but just give it time. Things will work out. And I've trusted him. And so far, things have been pretty good. And so I'm just, now that he's not here, it's like, crap. So now what do I do? He was a big part of my life. I've known him since I was 4 years old. I was little. Actually, I think I was little. I think I was smaller than that. I think I was 3. I've known him for a very long time. My dad's I've known him longer than that. Back when we were in high school, I was moving from here to East Troy, and during that time, in the process of moving from here to there, I was still going to school out here, and he's like, I used to bump into him all the time. We hung out with the same people, just not with each other yet. And then yesterday, my dad and I, because yesterday was his funeral, or his memorial service, we did like a little, I guess you could say like a parade, kind of, from this park that everybody knows. So we all met up there, and then we went from there to the resort that he was going to be at, the resort that was going to be held at. And as we were going there, I was trying so hard not to cry. So hard. Because I literally had to hold his urn in our window. And while my dad was driving down the road, I had to hold it there. And it was hard. It was my dad's first time being the hearse. He's like, I've never had to do that. We were in the lead of everything. And here's the even harder part, okay? We couldn't have done this any more redneck style we wanted to. We all had rebel flag, or I think it was the rebel flag. Everybody had a rebel flag and some other flag. And because that was his thing. And we did have a police officer there with us to help stop traffic so we can get through. But we ended up having to do it the redneck style because that officer had a phone call that had a call that he had to go to, and the call did not sound good by any means. And so we didn't have a choice but to do it on our own. So, of course, my dad's in the lead. Everybody has their hazards on. And we're blowing red lights. We're blowing stop signs. We're doing everything basically redneck style. But my dad was not expecting to be the hearse. But here's the thing. Everybody that was there before we got there had taken a vote and decided that he was going to be in the lead. It was the made decision that he was going to be in the lead. So when we got there and we heard that we were going to be in the lead, my dad thought, maybe like the third, fourth, maybe fifth or sixth car. No, we were in the lead, which was interesting. I've never been in a vehicle that hearse, the hearse. I've never done that. That was my first time, and that was actually really cool. But my dad was honored to do that for him. And my dad and him drank Pepsis all the time. So I always knew what to get them if I were to go out someplace to get drinks. I knew to get them both Pepsis. Because he was not drinking a beer, he had a Pepsi in his hand and a cigarette. But yeah, him and my dad known each other for a very long time, and I have a lot of good memories of him, thankfully, when he was healthy, and then with the Addisons and all that. Like, I have good memories. If it wasn't for him, my dad wouldn't be here. My dad would be dead. Because he lived. I don't know how this man did it. I don't know how he did it. But he lifted a Lincoln off my dad. This vehicle that they were working on for a customer. He had a Lincoln. He took it to a few other people, and people were like, your car has bad luck. We're not getting underneath of it, and we feel bad for the person that does. Now, my dad and my uncle did not know about this until after the fact. But my dad and him were underneath there. Well, my dad was underneath there. He was doing something else. And I don't remember exactly what my dad was doing underneath the car, but he was doing something underneath the car, and then the next thing they know, it fell off the jack and fell onto my dad, crushing him. It crushed, I think it was like 3 ribs or 4 ribs on one side. He had a collapsed lung and a broken collarbone, which is still not there. It the collarbone is not there, so it looks weird. But yeah, and what does this man do? Puts the vehicle on his legs and drags my dad out from underneath the car. And then proceeds to call 911. Everybody, still to this day, cannot figure out how he did it. And then I guess my dad said one day they figured it out. He went to lift the couch up for something, and that's when he realized that, there was something there. But it's nice knowing that my dad tried to be there as much as he could for him. And we would go and visit him almost all the time. And even after I had moved out here and I was pregnant with my first one, we were at their house every day, practically, because my dad's car was over there and we were working on it. Well, they were working on it since I had found out that I was pregnant. They had been working on it at his house, and then he got kicked out of the house that he was in. But before that, my aunt got pissed off about something and said that my dad needs to take his vehicle and get his vehicle out of there. So sometimes my aunt can be on one sometimes. But lately, she's been really mellow, I guess you could say. But that was before this whole situation. She mellowed out. But now it's like her issue is just, she's sad, she's upset, she's hurt that, her husband isn't here anymore. And it's totally understandable. And I keep telling them, I'm here, Dad's here, we're both here, we're willing to come help with whatever you guys may need help with or whatever. And I told them, I was like, now that I'm going to be working, I'm going to try and make damn sure I'm at every derby, race, whatever. I'm going to make sure that I'm at every single one of them, because whatever ones you guys go to, I'm going to be at. You just have to let me know, and I'll put it in my phone and be like, this is the day that I need to have money for, and I will make sure that I will have that money, because, again, by any means, I'm going to try and be there. And this year is going to be a rough one, especially for his sons. It's going to be rough because they're not going to have their dad there to help them work on those vehicles. They have to do it all on their own. So therefore, it's going to be hard for them. But I know them. They can get through it. They can get through a lot of things. So I believe in them. And it's just a matter of making sure that we're there for them, emotionally and physically. But yesterday, we went to the funeral. We literally spent majority of the day there. From like 12 to 3:30, I think it was almost. 3:40 almost. But yeah, it was hard. It was definitely hard. My dad and I definitely ended up crying. Because my dad and I are about the same. We've been through so many deaths that, it phases us, but it doesn't. We're hurt. We're definitely hurt. It's made a scar in our life, but we also try to move on. We try to hold it in and we try to move on. And I couldn't figure out for the longest time why I did that, and now I know why, and now I know where I get that from, and it's from my dad. My dad has had so many people die in his life. He's had military buddies pass away, and he's gone to their funerals. He's had family members die and gone to their funerals. There's one family member funeral that he didn't get to go to. My brother and I got to go to when we were little. I don't really remember it much, but my grandma took us to it. And of course, meeting family that you don't know because you don't see on a regular basis tends to happen quite a bit on both sides of my family. But whatever. And For me, it's, like I said, just trying to be there for somebody that's going through a really rough time. Yes, it is hard for my dad and I. So hard. Because my dad and I were actually really, really close with him. Anytime either one of those men were working on cars, where was I? Right there with them. And that's how I'm always going to be. I'm hoping that my boys will be that way too and be hungry and eager to learn those sort of things because they kind of need to. I know the basics on vehicles right now. I just need a refresher because my brain can't remember everything. But yeah, it was rough knowing what he did. And his oldest son, can barely go into the garage. It's to the point where he can't even look out his window right now because he sees his dad. He sees his dad hanging in there. So what my dad did when he went over to their house to help get stuff situated for the funeral and everything, my dad took some sage, put it in a bowl, put it in the garage, and burned it. He moved out of the garage, but now he's inside the house. So his spirit is still lingering around them, and it's probably going to linger around them for a long time. No matter where they go, he's going to be, because more than likely what it is he feels bad, he feels guilty, he feels like he hurt his family in the wrong way instead of trying to find a way to get the help that he needed. And he feels really, really bad about it. But like I said, he has been struggling with issues for the past couple years. Things have gotten worse for him within the past 2 years. So with that being said, we knew something was going to happen. We just didn't know exactly what was going to happen until it happened. But he's in a better place now, that's for sure. He's hopefully not in any kind of pain. But yeah, it's rough. And to top off my month of November, my aunt on my dad's side died from cancer November 15th of 2018. Another year or so later, my godfather passed away. He was kind of like an uncle. He passed away November 15th. To make matters worse, he was murdered by a drunk driver. He'd gotten home from work, which he was not really a nurse, but he was somebody that would go and clean up the rooms and stuff like that. He was like kind of like a maintenance guy, but not a maintenance guy. He didn't do any of the maintenance thing. He just did a bunch of cleaning. I don't know exactly what it's called, but they have a specific word for that. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But he did that. He used to go and clean rooms and stuff like that for his nurses. And to kind of make things better, he gotten home from work, and I was still pregnant with my second baby, but he had gotten home from work, and he told his dad, "Hey, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go and grab the mail." His dad's like, "Okay." His dad had Alzheimer's, so he was back and forth between knowing and not knowing. But then his dad had realized that it had been a little while since his son had come. It had been about 15-20 minutes, which is unusual. It only takes, a few minutes to go and grab the mail. And the mailbox was right down the road, like right down at the end of their driveway. And this guy was driving his, I'm assuming, work truck. And they were drunk, obviously. They were driving on the wrong side of the road. And they hit him and threw him like 30 yards into his front yard. He was up over by the trees in his yard. So one side of his face was all messed up. He died instantly. Right on impact, he died. Which still to me is messed up. It really is. And instead of the guy stopping and going, oh my God, I hit somebody, or calling 911, or going and seeing if the person was okay or anything like that, he gets in his car and drives away. They know what the make and model of the vehicle is. They know what the color of the vehicle is. They have a license plate. But they still have not found the person that did it. So, therefore, that makes matters worse. Because now my uncle's killer is still out there. Or my godfather's killer is still out there. And nothing. They still haven't found anything. So his case is basically going to turn into a cold case. But he's been buried next to his mom. And his sisters and neighbors have been helping taking care of his dad. But that was really hard for me. I cried a little, but not a lot. I just had a baby, so my pregnancy hormones were still there, because I had him on November 17th. That was only about a day after he was killed. I ended up having my son at 10:44 in the morning. Literally on the 17th. And I told my dad, I was like, I don't know what it is, but I have a really strong feeling that he had something to do with me going into labor on the time and the day that I did. It was like he was trying to make sure that I don't forget. It was really weird, because I wasn't actually supposed to go into labor. I was supposed to go in on the 18th of November to get induced. And instead, I ended up giving birth on the 17th. So therefore, I didn't need to go in and get induced. So, yeah. But yeah, so things there were really rough. And then another person that I know, just because of my mom, had died on November 8th. So a day before my uncle had died, on the 8th, one of my mom's good friends died from unknown causes. So yeah, that was kind of messed up too. So the month of November has not been my favorite month. Normally I love Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving because you're around family. You can say, we could talk about what we're thankful for and things like that. And I can't. I can't. December, though, is a good month. I love December because, funny enough, I was actually supposed to have my son December 2nd, and I had him November 17th. So he was born early. But yet I was 37 weeks. So I was 37 weeks and 6 days. I was only a day off from being 38 weeks. So therefore, that was interesting. They had it set for like 42 weeks, I think it was. But yeah, so the month of November hasn't been the greatest. I mean, the only good thing about this month is the only good thing really about this month is that I got a job. I'm just waiting for the background check to go through. Actually, let me check my email again. Something could change. Another thing. Thank you for providing the necessary information to process your background check, as well as reviewing and completing the Fair Credit Authorization on behalf of AutoZone. This will allow your background screening process and get information management as we continue the process of running the necessary background checks that we process on all. This email and link files to which they are addressed. This email in error, please notify the system manager. Okay, I'm just waiting for the rest of my information, I guess. I'm just waiting for the rest of my background to be done, and then I'm good. But yeah, the only good thing so far for the month of November is that I basically have a job. Full-time, 11.25. Granted, it's not a whole lot, but that's okay. I mean, I'm not expecting a lot. And I took it, even though my fiance said, "Oh, don't take that." Well, you know what? I'm gonna take it anyways, because it's either if I don't take it and don't take the offer, now I am not able to work, which means I'm not able to go through with the background check. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take it, because I don't know if I'm gonna like the job or not. I'm literally gonna work it 2 weeks. If I don't like it, then dunzo. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna work it. And okay, it's only 12. But yeah, I got the job, and my fiance has a job interview on Wednesday at 1:00. So he's excited about that because it's at Fleet Farm, and it's in something that it's in the department that he wanted. So he's excited, and he'll be making a lot more than me, because he'll get emissions and everything like that. And if he's just as good as he was at O'Reilly's, he'll be fine there. and he will make more than me, which is fine, because what I was hoping to do with my portion of my money was to be able to set aside money for getting a vehicle, getting diapers, car seats, whatever. But yeah, I also have here's another reason why I decided not to have this set for children. It has to be 18 and up, because of the fact that I was also going to try and promote my OnlyFans, because I do have an OnlyFans. But that's 18 and up, because it's inappropriate stuff. Let's just put it that way. Children should not be watching that stuff. But yeah, I just have to say that, like, if anybody that sees this wants my OnlyFans, just comment on here, say, hey, want OnlyFans. I will send you the link, just because I haven't put the link on here yet. So I'm still trying to figure some stuff out yet. But yeah, I know a lot of YouTubers have OnlyFans, and a lot of them don't do what I do. But what I have on my OnlyFans is things not appropriate for children. But I do make money on there. Just recently, my my gross pay has gone up on there to like 200 and something. Here, I'm gonna look right now because I can pull it up on my phone. Let's see. So my gross pay is $294.06. My net, which is basically what I make after taxes, is $235.20. So honestly, I'm making a lot. Just for the month of November, I have made $82.34. Right now, in my OnlyFans wallet, I have $49.62 sitting in there right now. I have $33.58 being processed right now to go into my wallet. So, therefore, if anybody on here decides or is not sure about doing OnlyFans, do it. Because, yes, you can get taxes, or you can get tax returns from that. And it's helpful. It's been very helpful for us. I've been able to go and get things that I needed with it. So it's definitely helpful. And it's already 1:02. But yeah. So, good morning. Well, good afternoon. Dad's not here.
He went to Jared?
No, he went to Madison.
Fill subscriptions.
And then he also had to fill Caden's prescriptions too. So, is Nova asleep? Okay. But yeah, so yeah. But I'm trying to think what else I was gonna say on here, and I forgot. I had a list of things in my head, and now I don't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, I'm gonna get off. I'll probably go live again on here, or make a video or something and post it in a couple of weeks. I just don't know what I'm gonna post about yet. But